What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we have another video in a series of videos that I'm doing about living a better life abroad. And so we're going to take a look at this lady who's living in Mexico. This is another lady. So I showed you a couple of weeks ago, actually it was last week, about 8 days ago, I showed you a video of a lady that was living in Mexico. This is another lady living in Mexico. Now, I'm not just going to show you videos of Mexico. We will start looking at some other countries as well. Colombia, Thailand, Philippines. We're going to look at people in all these different countries. But I just find that when it comes to Mexico, because it's so close to the U.S., a lot of people will leave the U.S. and go to Mexico, at least part-time. And some people do it full-time. So that's what we're going to talk about on this video. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and the financial struggles that Americans are facing today. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so before we get started and I show you the video, I do want to talk a little bit about the channel. So when it comes to the comments, in the comment section, you guys need to be respectful towards each other. Okay, so if I see that you're not being respectful towards each other, I will delete those comments. And if it continues to be a problem, I will block you from the channel. Okay, I want to have a constructive dialogue in the comment section. Okay, I'm not able to always see every comment that comes out. I do have people that are helping me, and I do appreciate that. But when it comes down to it, you need to be respectful. So there's two things. You need to be respectful and not use profanity. If you're using profanity, I'm going to delete those as well. And actually, YouTube is already programmed to delete comments if it has profanity in it. So just so you know that. So you might see a comment and it's gone. It's like, oh, okay, well, why is it gone? That's the reason. If you use profanity, YouTube will delete it. Now, sometimes people try to be creative and use profanity in different ways by using different words and symbols. So if that is the case and I see that, I will delete that. Okay, so if you have something to say, I'm fine with you saying it, but just don't use profanity when you say it. Okay, so two things. Be respectful towards each other in the comments and do not use profanity. That's all that I ask. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this video of this lady living in Mexico. Here we go.
There's many things that I love about living in Mexico, but I think that one of the obvious things is it allows me the lifestyle that I want to live as an artist because it's affordable. I'm able to get my Social Security here. I'm able to live the way I want, travel. I'm definitely living comfortably, and I'm living my dream in Mexico that I would not be able to do in the U.S.
Okay, so I've had people ask me this question, so I wanted to touch on it before we really get started in this video. So when it comes to Social Security, yes, you can receive Social Security in another country. Okay, now there are certain countries where you can't, but you're going to need to contact the Social Security Administration to find out if the country that you want to go to qualifies for you to receive Social Security. And it's a very small number where you can't get Social Security, like North Korea and some of these countries like that. But for the most part, in most countries, you can still receive your Social Security. Okay, SSDI as well, you can receive that. Now, I encourage you, don't just take my word, but you need to talk to Social Security Administration to find out what their qualifications are. When it comes to SSI, you cannot, okay? You can stay outside of the country, I think it's like 30 days when it comes to SSI. So you're not going to be able to live for a long period of time outside of the U.S. On SSI. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue.
Hi, I'm Glenn Rogers. Welcome to my home in San Miguel de Allende. My name is Glenn Rogers. I'm 68 years old. I live in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I bought a home here for $160,000 US cash. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. I would describe my house as a tree house. It's built up like 4 floors. I've got lots of foliage around it. I have balconies on every level that I can look down. San Miguel de Allende is really a beautiful small city. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's beautiful colonial architecture. I live in the San Antonio neighborhood of San Miguel. It's residential primarily. There are some small little cafes, especially now, popping up, and yoga studios. I'm originally from Mississippi, but I went to University of Florida, got my bachelor's degree, and then moved to California and was there for 25 years before moving to Mexico. My move to Mexico was not planned. I went down on a long weekend with some friends to Mazatlan and really fell in love with the city. And I'd had this dream of having a studio outside the US for many years. When I went to Mexico, it was just like, oh my God, this could be my dream studio. Actually went to a real estate office that afternoon and found a little house for $28,000, which became my studio. I guess I felt like I was ready for another challenge. I looked at Oaxaca, Ajijic, and Lake Chapala areas, and then put my sights on San Miguel because it is an artist community. Now I can rent that home in Mazatlan out when I'm not there and then be in San Miguel. So I probably go to Mazatlan about 3 or 4 times a year, for maybe 2 weeks at a time. In May, after my renters are gone. When I started looking, I really wasn't ready in terms of having the cash available because I did have this rental house in Mazatlan I needed to sell. So when I saw this house, I tried to get the owners to negotiate with a rent to own or lease to own, but they really wanted to cash out right then. So I put my rental home in Mazatlan up for sale and got a little loan from my brother to tide me over till I sold that house, and that enabled me to buy the house. So I would say within 4 months of seeing the home, I was able to put the money down. The other home was about $120,000. That's what I got for that home, and so I needed the rest in cash, and I had some savings, so that's the way I was able to pull that off. This was actually my 4th home to buy in Mexico. I wasn't that afraid or fearful of the process. It was more of being able to pull the money together and wanting this house. Once I set my intention on buying this house, I didn't want it to slip from my fingers. The house that I bought here in San Miguel was a 2-level home. It was very modest, and I knew I needed a place with a studio, but I got assurance from the realtor that I could build a 3rd-floor studio. Within a year of buying the home, I decided to go ahead and build the studio, and it cost me about $25,000 for the construction. And then later, I developed the rooftop, and I would say I put about $7,000 US into that. I built a metal staircase from my front door patio area up to my 2nd level, and then another stairwell to my studio, so that when I have open studio events or somebody wants to visit my place and see my artwork, they don't have to walk through my bedroom. When you walk into my home from the street, you enter a small little patio entranceway. So it's a little garden area and sitting area. And it's nice because it's cooler in the summer, so I have a place to kind of hang out when it's hot. This is my entrance hallway, and then I have a little guest bedroom here with a single bed. And then you walk into my bedroom. It's a queen bed, and I found this great headboard at a flea market here and had some of my furniture built in San Miguel. So this is my small bathroom off of my bedroom. In Mexico, we have these beautiful Talavera tiles. These I bought in Dolores Hidalgo. So follow me up to my living area. This is my living area. I share with my lovely cat, Ginger. And this is where I do a lot of my work on my laptop, my reading. I've got a little library here, and I have my fireplace and heater. So this is my cozy room. This is my dining area. And it's just a little walkway to the kitchen. I love the Mexican tiles. Came with the house when I bought it. It has a traditional Mexican sink with the tiles. No dishwasher, no trash compactor, nothing high-tech here. This is my breakfast nook, and I also have a laundry area here and a second bath. And come on up, I'll show you the studio. So welcome to my studio. I've got a nice painting wall here that I created for myself. This is a piece I'm working on for a show right now. Here's my etching press. This is a press I bought in Veracruz, Mexico. And I create monoprints on this piece as well as I teach workshops. So it's a valuable tool for me here. And I have a paper cabinet, I've got my sink, and plenty of storage, so it's a great studio. Well, let's go on up to the terrace. So this is my rooftop, and this is where I find the warmth, because this is where the sunshine is, and I love it. I love that I'm on the level with the birds flying, and I've got a 360-degree view of San Miguel, and I've got my flowers, my garden, so it's really nice up here. Come on in. So inside my little glass house, I wanted to create a cozy space, something place I could bring my friends and have a glass of wine, that sort of thing. So I had this couch built, and this one I found in a yard sale. So it's just been a really fun project to put together. I'm not sure if this will be my forever home. I still love my home in Mazatlan, and it's possible I'll go back there. I really don't know. I'm just enjoying it so much that I can definitely see myself being here for the next 5 to 10 years. I would never be able to find a home like this in the US, especially in California where I was living. I sold a place similar size as this, for like $500,000, and that was 2008. I mean, there's no way I could touch anything in California. I don't believe I could have what I have created here in the US in terms of lifestyle and the ability to live on a relatively small income. So I think I've created the perfect place for me.
Okay, so you saw this lady's living in Mexico, and you heard the important thing at the very end that she was talking about. She does not think that she could have the same lifestyle that she has now in the U.S., okay, especially in California. And I will agree with her. I live in California now, and it is very, very expensive. And so when it comes down to it, she's put herself in a situation where now she's living a better life. And I like that. I like that people are out there looking to improve their current situation. And so she's doing that. And another thing I found interesting is you heard that she had no plans. She had no plans of leaving the country permanently. She was just on vacation. She went to Mazatlan and she fell in love with it. And that's what happens a lot. When it comes to Colombia is a place that I thought I would probably never go. And when I went 12 years ago, I really enjoyed myself, and that's why I kept coming back. And now it's a place that I like to come. I come every year, and I'll continue to do that. And now I'm spending more and more time as I come. Now that I'm retired, I have time. I'm spending 3 months this time. So for the whole year, I'll be about 5 months, almost 6 months that I've spent in Colombia. So when it comes down to it, a lot of this stuff is not planned. And so don't think, I have to put this big plan together. No, just if you can afford to, travel a little bit. Traveling a little bit will get you to that point where you'll realize, hey, you know what? I could see myself living here, or I can't see myself living here. That's how you're going to figure it out. And in her situation, Mazatlan is not too far. I mean, she's in Mexico. She's from California, or she was in California at the time, so she didn't have to travel that far. And so maybe that could be your first move if you live if you live on a border, or if you live close to let's say if you live in Florida and you want to fly into some of the islands that are near Florida, or you want to fly into Colombia or Central America. There are ways to do that, and it doesn't cost that much money. $300-$400 for airfare. and that's a round trip ticket from Florida. And so, like I said, I'm doing a series of videos on this, on living abroad, and just based on the response that I'm getting from you guys in the comments, you guys really want to see more of this, and you enjoy the fact that there are other options, okay? And that's what it's all about. It's all about options. And you might be in a situation right now in the U.S. where you're just struggling and inflation's continuing to get to rise even higher, and you're thinking there has to be a plan B, okay? And maybe that plan B is for me to get out and travel a little bit and see if there's some other place that I could enjoy living in, okay? Now, in her house, it looks very, very cozy, and she's got that rooftop deck there. I mean, I could see myself relaxing every night up there, just looking at the stars and just enjoying myself. So you'll never know if you never get out there and travel, okay? But you do need to have that plan, okay? You can't just say before you start traveling, okay, I'm just going to go live here because this is where they say it's cheapest. Don't do that, because you need to find out what is really out there. And one of the big things that I have when it comes to traveling is I want to make sure if I'm going to spend a significant amount of time somewhere, I want to make sure that their infrastructure is strong, which means they have good Wi-Fi, which means the power's not going to be going out every day, and also the food is edible. Okay, and when I say that, I know it might sound a little strange, but you want to make sure that you can eat the food. Okay, because that will really change things if you move into an area or if you're spending a significant amount of time in an area and the food is just not good and you can't find anything that's good. One of the things that I love about Colombia is Colombian food on its own, not my favorite, okay? But in Colombia, they have a variety of different types of food, okay? They have pizza, they have hamburgers, they have all the same things that you would eat in the U.S., they have it out here in Colombia, okay? And I'm learning now what to eat when it comes to Colombian food, what's good, what's not. I like the soups, but I really don't like the bandeja paisa and some of the stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, the food is very, very important. Very important. If you're going to spend a significant amount of time somewhere, you need to make sure you like the food. You need to make sure their infrastructure is strong. You're not going to be sitting in the dark every night because their infrastructure is not good. There's a funny story that I want to share with you guys real quick about Thailand. I like Thailand, okay? But there were two things that I had problems with in Thailand. I was only in Thailand for 10 days. I really didn't like the food. And this is kind of amazing because when I tell people this, they're like, what do you mean you didn't like the food? I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe I had a bad experience. Maybe I need to really eat more food in Thailand, but I just didn't find it. It didn't taste right to me. And even when I would eat things that I would think, okay, this is like, let's say I would go get pizza and I'm thinking, this pizza doesn't taste right. Okay, the pepperoni's not right and stuff like that. Now, I know you're saying, well, why are you eating pizza in Thailand? Well, I was eating the Thai food, which oddly enough, I like Thai food in the U.S., but it's different when you go to Thailand. I was eating the Thai food. I wasn't liking that, so I was looking for something that I was familiar with. So I would get pizza or I would get a hamburger, get stuff like that. And so I just didn't enjoy it. So that was my experience when it came to food in Thailand. And then also, the infrastructure where I was in Phuket, Thailand. I was right on Bangla Road, right on the beach, and the power went out at least once a day. At least once a day, the power went out. And so the infrastructure where I was, and maybe it's better now, but at the time where I was, the infrastructure just was not good. And so I struggled when it came to putting out videos and just being comfortable because Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, it's pretty hot. And when that power goes out, you're looking for shade so you can keep cool because it gets very, very hot out there. So that was just my experience with Thailand. Now I will go back to Thailand because I know there's more out there, and I only spent 10 days and I was only in one part of Thailand. But other than that, I love the people. I love the experience. There's a lot in Thailand as far as tourism and different attractions and excursions and all that stuff. They have some of the most beautiful beaches that I've ever seen in my life. So it's definitely a place that you should have on your list if you want to travel to. But spending a long period of time there, I don't know. I would struggle. I would struggle mainly because of the food and then the infrastructure. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. please like the video. Please subscribe for more. Hit the little bell notification. And we're going to have more. We're going to have more videos like this, a series of different videos talking about just living in another country, either full-time or part-time. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.